Alright, so I had someone donate saying they wanted to see a 5-color Pyromancer deck. So what I've done is I've taken Brennan DeCandio's 5-color deck list, or 4-color deck list, and we've slotted some blue cards into it. I've got a Hostage Takers here in the main deck for taking artifacts and a pseudo removal that we can grab with Traverse. And then I've got a Snapcaster Mage in the sideboard. And then we can also actually cast the Architects of Will now if we just need some random 3/3s at some point. But that is basically the change I have made. We have a Miser blue source, so I think I cut the Grimflayers from the main deck to make room for these cards. I just like went up a land. 18 land seemed really greedy in a deck that wanted to get to like Bloodbraid consistently. Yeah, Snapcaster on the board for like when you want to grind a little bit. When you want to grind a little bit. Question, Jeff. With unbanning of Jason BB, at least as of right now, or format, do you think Wizards is likely to look at the ban list now? The pool of growth is so much. Yeah, I think so. I'm hoping at least that's what comes of what we've had happen so far. That Wizards looks and goes, oh, this is probably fine. Let's just. This hand's actually quite good, right? We can actually, if we cast Faithless Looting on 1 and bin Architects of Will in a land, we actually have Traverse the Ulvenwald turned on 2. Modern, and we're gonna answer this question a lot today. Maybe I'll make a exclamation point Ponza command. Modern is the most popular format in Magic because any deck, good, bad, or otherwise, can top 8 or win any given tournament. A deck winning a tournament does not mean that it's suddenly super competitive or super viable. It just means someone that loves playing that deck, that probably always plays Ponza at every Magic tournament since the dawn of Modern, finally hit their string of good matchups or played well or ran good or whatever mix of things you want to say in order to win the tournament finally. It's like when that one player, like Nichu or whatever their online handle is, top 8 of that Grand Prix with Merfolk. It's like, well, was Merfolk suddenly good? No, like that person's probably played Merfolk at a dozen Grand Prix or a dozen large events. Like they love the deck. That's their deck. And like, it's not a slight at the player, it's not a slight at the archetype, it's just this archetype, just because it won a major tournament, isn't suddenly magically better than it was previously. It's just, it is what it is. Like that's a feature of Modern, it's not a bug. That's cute. Merfolk was not good during Eldrazi Winter. It's adorable that you think that though. You know what was good during Eldrazi Winter? Eldrazi was good during Eldrazi Winter. Alright, let's cast Traverse the Ulvenwald here. You're gonna get a swamp. Negate. Oh, this is cute because they think I don't have a land. God bless. Sure, I think we're okay with that still. Now that sequencing lined up. Yeah, that's the biggest thing, and that's honestly that's even more articulated what makes Modern even more popular. And this is the biggest difference between Modern and Legacy. The power level between the first best deck in Modern and the 15th best deck in Modern is very similar. The decks that are similar in power level, that are, what's the word I'm searching for? The decks that more Faithless Lootings. Okay, and we missed on a land. That's really unfortunate. I guess I'm bidding these two. Do I want to play this other Faithless Looting? It's like, I really want to hit a land next turn, right? But like, I'm probably have to bin this Kolaghan's command, and I really don't want to bin these Bloodbraid Elves against the control deck. I think I'm just going to pass here. There's probably a pretty good chance we miss our land drop next turn, but I really don't have anything I want to discard at the moment. Ponza is very good at beating up interactive mid-range decks. Decks that are looking to play a good, honest game of Magic, Ponza is very good against. Jeskai with Field of Ruin in it? Ayo. Alright, so I'm gonna fetch a basic here just because I don't want to deal a ton of damage to myself, I don't think. Watch this just like hit a fatal push anyway to just be a 3-2. Oh, that's pretty good. That's much better than a fatal push. Oh, baby. Everything's coming up Millhouse, chat. Just get them. Bloodbraid. Oh, no. Oh, no. You lightning bolted my 3-2. How will I ever apply pressure now? How will I ever apply pressure now, opponent? The wheels continue to spin. Ah, yeah. Are we doing it, chat? Does this quantify as doing it? I'm not quite sure what it is, but I think we might be doing something related to it. Is this a Field of Ruin into a removal spell here? Do I want a looting here? Turn off. Auto yields. Yeah, I actually want a looting here, right? Because they went after my Sacred Foundry, which means I can't cast this Lingering Souls in my hand anymore. Gosh, you gonna path me too? God bless. And this is like the risk of like, maybe I should have shocked myself last turn, or the 2 turns ago when I fetched for this, because like now my opponent's Field of Ruin is gonna wasteland us, and it didn't necessarily have to wasteland us. And, like, we're still gonna have 4 lands, like it's not a huge deal, but like the fact that they're gonna be able to cut us off a land with this Field of Ruin activation really sucks. I mean, my latest build is playing Coiling Oracle and Birds of Paradise. No, not really. The Espergorio's deck always feels clunky and awkward. In my experience, the Espergorio's deck is playing Disruption that's very similar to Death Shadow, but it's working much harder for a much worse threat. Continue spinning wheels. Yes. Do I want to trade this BBE for a Snapcaster Mage? Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Next turn I can K command plus flashback Lingering Souls. I don't know which demon that is. Definitely not Chris. I mean, it's like fine. It's playing a bunch of modern playable Magic cards. The problem is that like instead of playing Tassigers and, you know, 1 mana 12/12s, it's like playing 5 mana 5/5s in a format where you like regularly die on turn 3. So it's like, well, you know. Alright, what do we got? Do we finally hit a sweeper? Or are we wastelanding me here? Electrolyze. Okay. That's pretty good. Alright, so I'm gonna actually, let's start by attacking, right? Because I'm not playing anything with haste. And then we get to go Pyromancer, Thoughtseize you, Flashback Lingering Souls. Just like make a bunch of tokens here. This is for you, Shazdoom. This is your 5-color Pyromancer deck. That's a lot of cards that don't really interact with my board, huh? It's a cryptic command you can't cast yet. Alright, we're gonna take basically your only card that can interact with my board. Nice counter spells. Yeah, so like, It was a good draw. We're still ahead, but that was a good draw for them. The deck, like, it's just like conceding some matchups that like other mid-range decks concede as well. So it's just like, well, what are we really gaining from this? This game is very grindy, and we haven't even hit a Bedlam Reveler. There's three Bedlam Revelers in our deck. What am I supposed to do here? We're definitely just flashing back Lingering Souls, right? Like, that's certainly happening. And then I think I'm supposed to just like end step Kolaghan's command. I think I'm just supposed to like end step Kolaghan's command. It probably doesn't really matter one way or another. They have Jace, not Cryptic Command, and then 2 cards I don't know. They're very dead. Alright, so this is probably a fine Hazoret matchup. Snapcaster is probably great. This is probably a matchup where like Kambal's okay, but like I don't know that I want to board this in knowing that my opponent's going to be attacking my lands. Fatal Push is probably pretty bad here. Maybe we're going to bring that in just because I guess Collective Brutality is probably okay. It's like a discard spell. I guess this counters like a Wrath that they probably have post board. And also if they have like Detention Spheres or Rest in Peace or stuff like that, we can clean that up. Same reason to bring Maelstrom Pulse in. I like this package. I don't know that I want these other cards. Like I said, I could see arguments being made for Kambal or Collective Brutality. Maybe Nihil Spellbomb, but I don't think I'm a fan of any of these cards over anything we're already playing here. I guess these bolts are a little narrow. Yeah, the Streamlabs link below is what you use for donation deck lists or just donations in general. Maybe I don't want some of these. I guess Brutality's probably marginally better than Bolt. Like if I cascade into this, I'm probably happier than cascading into a Bolt more times. But Campbell's makes killer soup, right? Oh, I'm Mr. Chicken Noodle here. Mr. Chicken Noodle himself. Nihil over Architects. I guess that's pretty similar. This costs 2 mana to cycle, but I guess that's close. Yeah, I like that. It's just like slightly more mana, but we have slightly more time, and it's a disruptive element. Okay, I buy that for $1. Certainly buy that for $1. That seems loose. It seems like a lot of work for not a lot of payoff. This hand needs a green source or another land. I'm not going to keep it with just Architects of Will. This hand's fine. This hand's definitely like showing Traverse the Ulvenwald being a touch awkward in decks like this though, because like this card is very much just lay the land in this hand, right? Like I need to draw a few things in order to turn this card on. Bolt actually kind of helps. Not really, but kinda. One of the questions I need to ask myself about this hand is this a Pyromancer on 2 hand, or is it a Pyromancer on 3 plus a spell to generate a token right away? If they tap out here for something like Search for Ez, can't tell. I'll probably just play the Pyromancer. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Oh, that changes things. Alright. Alright, yep. This helps me get work towards Delirium, too. Do I want more green mana? I probably don't need more green mana. Yeah, I'm gonna grab I have plenty of red, though. Yeah, okay, I guess I'll get another green, because I have plenty of red. Alright, Fetch Shock, Inquisition Do. See what's going on. Path, and then Dirtle cards. Alright, well, this Fulminator's probably gonna be decent. Alright, glad I have this Bolt. Actually, so Jace is a reason to keep Bolt in over Collective Brutality, so it's nice that we're not getting punished for that. You need to message me a deck list in private. I do not check deck lists mid-stream. So if you whisper me on Twitch or message me on Twitter, the first thing I do after I finish streaming is I go through and check all my messages everywhere and see what's up. So DM me that deck list somewhere, and I will let you know after we're streaming today whether or not it is acceptable. They hit a Logic Knot. That's okay. It's like not great for us, but fine, right? Should we whisper her message, right? Why are those different? Why are they different, Twitch? Nobody will ever know. Can I beat this card? Is this a Magic the Gathering card that's beatable? It's probably not, right? It's probably just like never beatable. They bottomed a card. It's another Lingering Souls. I feel like we're just dead, right? I guess I can Stone Rain them and hope they miss for a little while, but like, yeah, I'm just... This is one of those games where like we're allowed to continue playing Magic, but like we shouldn't continue playing Magic. This is not a game of Magic that we are going to win. So just like sigh and move on with your lives. I'm gonna bring one more Bolt back in just to help pressure Planeswalkers, I think. Yeah, like maybe we could play through the Jace there, but Jace plus Elspeth is definitely not something we're gonna be able to play through. I think I'm going to choose to preserve my health total this game a little bit. And I'm going to just fetch a tapped land on 1 and then go tapped land Inquisition on 2. And then probably fetch Shock Snap Inquisition on 3. Yep. So I think I'm going to fetch a Watery Grave here. Once we have our Snappy in hand. Yeah, if our opponent just had one Planeswalker, I think we have enough outs to Planeswalkers in general that we would have slogged through that game. But with 2 Planeswalkers going, I think it's just pretty unlikely that we're able to get anything meaningful going. So do we think they're going to hold up Logic not next turn? Probably. But at the same time, I really just don't want to deal with the Search for Azcanta. So I'm going to get rid of that. Play this land. I guess they have to shock to play it, so like if they shock, maybe I just pass back here. I think Titan Shift is a good choice in Modern right now. I think linear, non-interactive decks are almost always a good choice in Modern. I think decks like Titan Shift are very good against the control decks and the Bloodbraid Elf decks that people are interested in playing in the format. Oh, we had a charm for it. Yeah, that's true. I forget, this card's so good, it has so many modes. I think I want to just pass here now. Although I guess I risk them fielding me off the Snapcaster Mage. Alright, I'm going to start with this before I fetch anything. And like, I guess if this gets whatever, I'd like save 2 points, but I'm down a Snapcaster Mage. Like, it doesn't feel good, but it's not really the worst. Did you pay 2? No. So pass the turn. Yeah, I definitely should have. Well, I guess that ties up my mana later. The Architects of Will are for enabling Delirium. They're a card that cantrips that you can't, like... Bloodbraid Elfing into Mishra's Bauble feels really bad. And Architects of Will is just better at enabling Delirium than Mishra's Bauble is. To boot. I think I'm going to hold the Sacred Foundry for now because it's my only white source and I don't really want to get it Field of Ruined. I would prefer that they don't do that. Alright. And I'm going to fetch Shock here just because like my opponent seems to be closer to blue-white than Jeskai, so I'd prefer that I have more basics in my deck rather than preserve my health total against reach, I think. Ding. I think Amulet Titan is the same. I don't think that deck really had a meaningful care about Jace or Bloodbraid Elf. Yes, Field of Ruin is a very good Magic card. It is well designed and it's a great card to have in the format. Are you trading Secure the Waste for... No, we're electrolyzing. Yeah, okay. I love how you can tell what spells opponents are casting just based on how they're fumbling to tap their lands on Magic Online. Snap Vision here, sure. So I only have 2 spells in my discard pile currently. So a little bit far off this Bedlam Reveler. Yeah, I agree. Field of Ruin is one of the better, more meaningful cards they printed in Modern in a long time. That's fantastic. Yeah, so let's lead on this. What you got over there? Path, Jace, Bane, Slayer, Angel. Holy dicks. Can I beat that card? That's way harder to beat than Jace, right? Huh? When you look at your opponent's hand and you're like, nah, fuck Jace the Mind Sculptor, Baneslayer Angel can never beat that one. Just that's not a reasonable or beatable Magic card. All right, yep. Just gonna take that one really quick there, opponent. Is that okay? Modern staple Bane Slayer Angel. Am I supposed to just cast this Faithless Looting here? I think I am. I should have done this before I flashed back my stuff. Yeah. Let's just bin these two. Attack. So we have a Kolaghan's command to get our Bloodbraid Elf back, which is excellent for us. What year is it? Baneslayer Angel was a staple in the standard format it was legal in, for those that are newer to Magic the Gathering. 5/5, first strike, lifelink, protection from demons and dragons. Modern is great right now. This is the best Modern has been since they banned Splinter Twin. As someone who was very down on Modern for a long time, the current format is fantastic. In my opinion, it is the best constructed format Magic the Gathering currently has. Drawing a basic mountain really sucks there because my opponent has Field of Ruin in play. Maybe I should have held that Golgari Charm because of this secure. Yeah, we're about to get like secured for 4. Yeah, I definitely should have held that Golgari Charm. That was greedy and dumb on my part. Although I guess I'd have to kill my spirits. Like maybe that's not worth it. I think I just want to guarantee resolve this K command, right? Do I want to... I think I actually want to just shock. I actually just want to do this. If they hit a land next turn, they actually turn the corner pretty hard here, right? Although I guess I have like these to hold back and block. They have a Path and a Jace in their hand. Maybe I should have left some of these back. Sweet, no land is good for us. What's going on, Chris? What are we doing? You're attacking with every... Oh, you know I have Bloodbraid, so you don't want to attack with all of them. That's fair. It's like, don't you want to attack with all those? I know about Bloodbraid. That makes sense. Are we playing a Mind Sculptor here? Yep. I wonder if they're plussing this Jace. It feels like they're probably supposed to plus it. So hopefully this Bloodbraid cascades into a Maelstrom Pulse or a Dreadbore. Yeah, just a genuinely good match of Magic. Like, win or lose, we both had a lot of choices. There's been a lot of back and forth. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this costs 2 currently. So let's play Bloodbraid Elf. Trigger my Cascade. Cast my Young Pyromancer. I think I just slam into Jace here, right? Jace is at 5. They're at 9. I probably just want to slam into Jace, right? Like we have a lot of grind here. You'd think at this point Twitch would have automated the Prime sub, but here we are. Thanks for the resub, Lurking Blade. I think Twitch intentionally doesn't automate the Prime subs just because they want to make sure people aren't just like having their friends and family Prime sub to their having like people that don't actually watch their content Prime sub to their content and like just leave it there and forget about it. I'm pretty sure that not automating the Prime sub is intentional on Twitch's part. There is literally a deck list on your screen. God helps those that help themselves. Feel free to look at the deck list on the screen and then ask specific questions you may or may not have. Hopefully we can find a discard spell, or hopefully they just fire up this Colonnade and smack us. I would not mind getting smacked by this because it means this Bedlam Reveler would resolve. Well, you should upgrade to a browser that has you should upgrade to a real browser then. All right, I'm gonna start by moving to combat here because if my opponent wants to cryptic tap my cards, I don't want them to counter my I don't want them to counter my Thoughtseize, tap my spirits. I want to try and kill this Jace here. I'm gonna snap Electrolyze here. Okay, that's pretty good. You might already be better off without Tron. I think Tron is miserable and creates terrible games of Magic the Gathering. So yes, I am for removing things from... Well, I mean, Opera is just reskinned Chrome at this point. So it's just a reskinned version of a good browser. They have another Jace here. Like, their Jace has been on the table for a while, but we might be able to grind through them with this Bedlam Reveler. I am on here full-time, yo cousin. We're gonna do 30 plus hours a week is the goal. That's the goal. Lots of Magic. 30 plus hours a week. Recall, please. Alright, so Fulminator Mage. Is that where we're at with our lives? I think we're at the Fulminator Mage portion of the show. Probably just want to like stone. Man, I guess they could Field of Ruin to get another red source here. Do I want to Stone Rain proactively? They have Flooded Strand in their hand, right? So I'm not really keeping them from casting anything by Stone Raining them aggressively. Yeah, when the Hex set drops later this week, I think we're going to do an afternoon stream or two. I mean, it's kind of hard to get burnt out on Modern right now, honestly, right? Like, if you look at the donation queue, we're not playing the same decks over and over again. Yeah, I think we're going to do Legacy tonight. We have a show and tell deck list in the queue that has a lot of points built up just from both money and time sitting in there. So I think this evening stream is going to be Legacy. I don't think any Jeskai decks skimp on Mountain. And plus, like, this Celestial Colonnade is just like a very real threat. Like, we're at 9. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to play... I don't think I'm going to try and take them off of right here. Especially they have a Flooded Strand in their hand too. And like, if I didn't know they had a Flooded Strand, I would Fulminator Mage them proactively here to try and keep them off of Elspeth Sun's Champion. But because I know they already have a 6th land, I'm not really gaining anything by keeping them off of that. What does it take to jump to the top of the donation queue? Money. So the points for decks in the donation queue is every extra dollar that's been donated towards seeing a deck played is an extra point for them in the queue. And every day they've sat in the queue is an extra point for them in the queue. Usually if something gets over 50, it's the next deck I play. With some exceptions. So like, someone sent in a very large donation to see this deck right away. They sent in $100 last night. So, and generally I don't play multiple formats. So there's a Legacy deck that's over 50 points right now, but we're going to play that tonight. Hey, Weltinger with the $50 donation. What is this? This is something. Yeah, this looks fine. Oh, it's Zombie Infestation. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Alright, we're gonna play Zombie Infestation next. Maybe. We'll see how long this league takes. We'll see how long this league takes. Because remember, in the mornings I have a hard cut. I have to be done by noon. Alright, that's a search for Azcanta. Alright, so they have Logic Knot X in their hand right now. I think I want to not crack this because I want to be able to pressure the Jace with it. I think I want to not crack this because I want to be able to pressure the Jace with it. I didn't really do opinions on Dominaria leaks, anything. I haven't looked at all of them yet. I like skimmed them while I was at the gym, but I haven't invested a ton of effort in them. It's worth noting too that if this had been a lightning bolt, I'd have been able to kill the Jace. It's just like eating most of their graveyard with a Logic Knot. Yep. Alright, so now the question becomes, do I want to play this Brutality? I think I want to attack with everything first here, because I think there's a good chance my opponent's last card's a removal spell, and they're going to cast it here. And if I Collective Brutality with the Duress mode, they're just going to play the removal spell in response. So I'd rather trade this for a Colonnade than a Snapcaster Mage. And unless they have 2 removal spells here, the Jace is going to eat it. Okay, that's good for us. Yeah, now I'm gonna flashback Faithless Looting. It's like I really don't love either of these cards in my hand. Let's go on sketch. Bedlam Reveler, Hazoret. Well, that just sounds quite excellent, doesn't it? So let's ditch these two. Next turn I could just go Hazoret into Bedlam Reveler. That sounds delicious. Hopefully we draw like a shock land for the turn and can play it tapped or basic or something. Wow, really? They have Snapcaster Mage. Interesting. So that kind of surprises me. So they could have saved their Jace there. They could have played Snap, chumped the Bedlam. I guess they just wanted to really take the Bedlam off the table. Well, remember, we're going to draw a card for the turn too, so whether or not Hazoret can attack is going to depend on what we draw. I guess that's actually getting kind of scary, right? Alright, sweet. So we drew a land. I actually don't really want to attack with Hazoret, though, right? I don't really want to attack with this card because we're at 4. Probably need it. Although I guess I'm not going to be able to block with it, so I should probably attack. Yeah, that's... Oh, actually, if this hits them, they're dead, right? If this hits them, they're dead. Alright. Don't Lightning Helix me. For fuck's sake, seriously? I guess we were dead anyways because we're at 4. They had one draw. And it was Lightning Helix. Oh, we were so close, chat. Oh, we were so close. We were so close. Rip. What an asshole. Opponent just BM'd in chat when they fucking won the game. Be a dick. I wish they'd remove the Magic Online chat feature. The Magic Online chat feature is basically used for nothing positive. There's no fucking reason for it to exist. Alright, well, that was a kind of a sour end. Sour end to an otherwise interesting match. Just a good rip into opponent being a dick. BM stands for bad manner. It's a StarCraft term. I think it originates from StarCraft. It's basically when you're just rude in chat for no reason. It's like when idiots spam like GG easy and stuff like that. I think it originates from StarCraft 1, but I could be misremembering. Seems pretty good. It's a little slow, but definitely not going to 7. Or sorry, going to 7, going to 5. Lightning Bolt's probably worth keeping here. Any deck that this hand's not going to be good against, a Lightning Bolt should be good against. Well, we tried, chat. We tried. I should have known Tron was coming because I was having fun playing Magic. You can always assume that if I'm having fun playing Magic the Gathering, we're about to get Troned. That's what you can always assume. It is a safe assumption that if it looks like I'm having fun playing Magic on stream, we're about to get Troned. Alright, that's how you handle bad matchups in Modern. You go get lunch. Or on Magic Online, you wait and you queue into the next one. That's, you know, we have like this one Fulminator Mage in our sideboard to let us like pretend that the matchup could be winnable, but we're probably sub 30% in that matchup, maybe even less than that. Like these type of like mid-range value decks are the decks that just like turn 3 card and just runs over, you know? That's just how it is. And that's okay, you know? Modern's got some matchup variants attached to it. Tron's probably one of the biggest defenders of matchup variants. So, if you're new to the channel, you might not be aware, we play Magic to have fun on this stream, and I don't have fun playing mid-range decks that are basically unwinnable against Tron, so we don't play those matchups. And that's something you should expect. If you submit a mid-range deck like this, and we queue into Tron, you should not expect me to play the matchup. Unless there's like 8 Fulminator Mages in your sideboard. It's not worth flailing around for 30 minutes to like get to the outcome that we know is coming. Well, obviously I prefer Architects of Will to Street Wraith because we're playing Architects of Will. I guess this is a donation list, so maybe you could assume I prefer Architects of Will, and God, the shuffler today. I guess we're keeping this with a scry and hoping for the best. We're on the play too. Excellent. Excellent. 1 land on the play. Oh, good. Oh, good. This deck can never beat Ponza. Never. This one, we conceded the last one. So I'm gonna play this one out and let people understand what, because this might actually be, this is the exact type of deck that Ponza's designed to prey on. Not only because the mana base in this deck is like greed to the max with 5 colors, but even just a 3-color Jund style deck, Ponza is very good against because it's able to attack our lands when we're trying to like play reasonable spells, right? I'm not going to concede the match, but we can't win that game, so we're going to try the next one. Alright, I'm going to cut the Hostage Taker. I'm going to bring in a Hazoret, I guess. Engineered Explosives is okay, because it cleans up their Utopia Sprawls. Having a Shriekmaw in my deck is probably fine. I got these Dreadbores, probably don't need the Kolaghan's command. I don't think I want any of these other cards. No, I don't think I want any of these other cards. Let's just submit. The deck struggles versus go wide decks. Kinda. Like, our go wide strategy requires a pretty sizable mana investment, and our opponent's pretty good at keeping us off of that. Keep Dreadbore for Chandra. Oh, I guess these do kill Blood Moon, don't they? Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's get those in there real quick. Maelstrom Pulse and Golgari Charm. Like burning in your Maelstrom Pulse and your Golgari Charm here are like, you're giving yourself the illusion of a chance, because like, especially against this deck where like, they're stone raining our basics, like, we're probably not going to be able to make green and black mana to kill a Blood Moon. If we're being honest with ourselves, we probably won't be able to make green and black mana when we need to kill a Blood Moon. And that's why Ponza is very good against decks like these that can't get onto the board on turns 1, 2, and 3, because they're able to, you literally can't play around Blood Moon in a matchup like this, because we only have our 3 basic lands, and our opponent has Stone Rains and Molten Rains and Marvoldi Acid Mosses to keep us off of our basic lands. Okay, so what the problem with Golgari Charm is, so what am I going to do? Am I never going to play a spell if I have Golgari Charm in my hand until I can leave 2 mana up? So, like, I'm not going to play Lingering Souls until 5. I'm not going to play Bloodbraid until 6. What am I? Okay, so I'm giving you a timeout. So this is how you give useful sideboarding strategy. You should play Dreadbore over X. Like, there are a bunch of cards here that all seem reasonable. Which cards are more or less reasonable? I agree that Dreadbore has targets in their deck. But you know what else has targets in their deck? Back to Nature, and Kolaghan's Command, and Hostage Taker. And I could leave Architects of Will in because it helps enable our Delirium. So, like, you gotta be specific. Like, yes, Dreadbore has text in the matchup. They have creatures and planeswalkers. Which card in our deck currently does it have more or less text than is the part that's important. This hand's okay. It's kind of light on land, but I guess we have I guess we have Traverse as a third land. I think I'm gonna fetch a tapped land on one here. Or potentially, we'll see. If they play something to bolt, we'll bolt it, obviously. Yeah, sure, but like Golgari Charm's not relevant in a top deck war. It's actually a really bad top deck in a top deck war, so I'm not sure I understand why we're talking about top deck wars in relation to Golgari Charm. Ponza won the open. So everybody that's a Stone Rain fan out there is gonna be Stone Raining people here this week. Maybe we'll take a mid-range hiatus here. Maybe we'll take a mid-range hiatus and just play through all the really degenerate things in the queue. Alright, that's something to kill. Ready at Stomping Ground here, I think. Sometimes you run really hot in your bad matchups. That's why they're 10% matchups and not 0% matchups. I mean, Ponza's not really a real deck. That's why people love Modern. People love Modern because decks like Ponza are able to top 8 and win tournaments. That's why the format's great. Because you can show up with your deck that's just like hot garbage tier and do well with it in a tournament. A single tournament finish does not a competitive deck make, does not a great deck make. Ooh, we have a Maelstrom Pulse. I don't have another land though, which is a little unfortunate. Alright, let's Thoughtseize you. One payoff, please. That's unfortunate. So they have 2 ways to destroy my lands here. So they have 4 mana right now. I guess I'm just taking this Acid Boss, and then I'm casting this and going and getting a green source. Yeah, I'd qualify Pawns as a meme. 10 out of 10 qualify Pawns as a meme. If they get to the Titan, obviously we can't win the game, but hopefully we're gonna draw a land here and get to Maelstrom Pulse these sprawls. Lost our red source, yep. I guess I get to Golgari Charm to regenerate my team if they play Titan this turn. Yeah, so I assume we're getting Titaned here. So I'll Golgari Charm to regenerate my creatures and make another one. And then if we rip a land, we're now Maelstrom Pulsing the Titan instead of Maelstrom Pulsing the Utopia Sprawls. No, I don't think charming a Sprawl is good. I think I'd rather set up at this point to Maelstrom Pulse, like, because like taking them off of 1 mana on a 1/1 isn't dead. That's just like a treading water type line. So like now, if we hit a land to kill this, we're actually in an okay spot. And like we didn't, so we're dead. But you know, we tried. We gave it the old college best. It's not about a deck having wins. It's about a deck. It's about looking at the day 2 metagame breakdown and going, oh, there's 5 copies of Ponza in day 2, or there's 6 copies of Ponza in day 2. In my eyes, decks that are you don't rank decks like a deck winning a tournament doesn't automatically make it tier 1. A deck becomes a tier when you go, oh, we played Ponza 2 times that last league, or I play Ponza at least once a league, or once every other league in a format like Modern. It's, you look at the day 2 metagame breakdown, it's one of the 5 most popular decks for several tournaments in a row. Or like, you look at 6 tournaments, and for half of them, Ponza was one of the top 5 decks. It's like, when you look at the day 2 metagame breakdown and you go, oh, Jeskai and Storm and Burn, those decks had the most represented metagame, right? Like, that's what you look at. Yeah, 3 copies, I believe. That sounds right. All right, so Storm had the most. Storm had 7 copies. Storm also had the best conversion rate. It had 7 copies in day 2, and it put 5 copies into the top 32. The deck really overperformed. Modern, the mid-ranging. I mean, if it happened to consistently post high results... So, no, I don't think so. If a deck is actually good and it posts multiple high-level results, more people will start playing it. Believe it or not, when decks are good, more people play them. Did you know there was a string in early 2015, one of those years, where I top 8'd 3 Modern Opens in a row with fucking Kiki Cord? Kiki Cord wasn't tier 1. It didn't suddenly become tier 1 because I top 8'd 3 Opens in a row with it. It just meant that I was playing well, I was running hot, I was getting good matchups, and I played a bunch of Magic tournaments and top 8'd a bunch of them. That didn't suddenly change the deck's power level. Gosh, the fact that I played a dumpster fire like Kiki Cord for so long makes it so good to just like have results to fire back on. Did results equal deck is good? No, it does not. Does not. All right, anywho, mid-range decks. You're gonna die to Tron. You're gonna die to Panza. You're gonna die to people that are greedier than you. And that's what Modern is, right? Like you're picking a deck that you enjoy playing, and then you're looking at your sideboard and you're like hedging. You're like, all right, which linear matchups do I want to choose to fight? We're like choosing to have some game against Burn. Actually, this sideboard actually has some good cards against Bogles too, right? Like we've got Charm, Back to Nature, Pulse, and then 2 Engineered Explosives. So like this is largely Brennan DeCandio's list from the open. So like I think he made a lot of good choices for like decks that you do and don't want to beat. Let's get out of here. No one chastised you for your question. And that's why people get so defensive. Like, it's okay to ask a question, and you don't have to get offended when I disagree with you. Like, I think I explained myself there well, right? Like, I explained and I gave an example of, like, why not, and, like, you're still offended that I disagreed with you. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to have a different opinion. It is. And the fact that I disagree with you doesn't mean I hate you or I'm hostile towards you as a person. Like, people get so caught up in our society about, like, if I disagree with your idea, I'm disliking you as a person. Don't take things personally. It's an idea, it's not a dick. Don't take it so hard. All right, maybe that's a little like, no, that's just good, clean, funny. Yeah, I think DeCandio, and like Bogles is a matchup that's like harder for these decks. So like, I think having 5 good board cards plus like a couple Abrupt Decays is just like, it's fine. All right, anywho, what are we doing next?